Aberdeen at -2 degrees this morning, whilst Plymouth sits at 8 degrees. Scotland colder than the southwest, but here is what nobody is talking about. Is your area about to face a dramatic pattern shift that could bring the coldest spell of winter? The Met Office has multiple warnings active across the UK right now. Ice warnings cover large portions of England and Wales. Rain warnings for the southwest. Counties from Cornwall to Cumbria affected. Millions impacted by this relentlessly unsettled pattern. Drop your location in the comments right now, because tomorrow I will be giving personalised forecasts based on the latest model runs. London, 7 to 8 degrees today. Showers moving through. Potential easterly shift this weekend. Manchester and Liverpool, mid-single digits, staying unsettled through Friday. Birmingham, right in the firing line for showers, around 7 degrees. Glasgow and Edinburgh, persistent rain across northern Scotland, 5 or 6 degrees. Mountain snow over the Highlands. Cardiff and Swansea, more heavy rain Thursday afternoon with that yellow warning. Belfast, watch for ice this morning after last night's clearance. What is happening? We re-stuck in this pattern because of blocking high pressure to our north over Scandinavia. This forces low-pressure systems to take unusual tracks, diving up from the Bay of Biscay rather than sweeping in from the North Atlantic. That's why the southwest is getting battered instead of Western Scotland. Storm Chandra moved through yesterday with that peculiar northward track, and the weather front has barely moved in 24 hours, just sitting in the North Sea, turning to snow as it meets colder air. Here's where it gets interesting. We in a battleground between Atlantic air and much colder air just to our east. Norway is sitting at -20 degrees right now. That Arctic air is tantalizingly close, and the North Sea weather front is the dividing line. Wait until you see what could happen in early February. For the rest of today, Wednesday the 28th of January, we in between systems. Some sunshine breaking through, scattered showers never too far away, particularly across central and southern England and Wales. Northern England seeing a fair amount of cloud this morning, bit damp in places, but that should break up through the afternoon. Western and southwestern Scotland getting some brighter skies. Further north and east across Scotland, that persistent rain continues through this evening with a feed of cloud from the North Sea, a little bit of snow over the mountain tops, and a brisk breeze maintaining those chilly conditions. Temperatures today reaching 7 to 10 degrees across southern areas, 5 or 6 across the north and east of Scotland where that wet weather persists. Tonight, showery bursts of rain head in across Northern Ireland, Irish sea coasts, the West Country into the early hours of Thursday morning, and the wind will pick up some strength. Chilly elsewhere with a touch of frost to start Thursday, even some fog patches where the winds are lighter. Then Thursday, and this is important for those of you in the southwest, a more persistent band of wet weather arrives around lunchtime across Cornwall and Devon, moving in across southern parts of Wales through the afternoon. The Met Office has issued a yellow warning here through the afternoon and evening. We are looking at potentially up to an inch of rain, around 50 millimetres in some spots. The ground is absolutely saturated. We've already seen flooding from Storm Chandra. This is not going to help the situation whatsoever. Let me just clarify something about Thursday's setup, because there's a nuance here that matters. Whilst southern areas deal with that rain, further north we could see a bit of an easterly flow trying to push in. There is a battle going on. Northern and eastern areas might see a bit of winteriness within those showers, possibly some snow, but it's a brief affair. The Atlantic low-pressure systems push back in, and we continue this unsettled theme into Friday and the weekend. Now, Bristol, Southampton, Brighton, Dover, you're all watching that same system Thursday. Oxford, Cambridge, Nottingham, Leicester, you will see showers, nothing too organised Thursday, but staying cool with temperatures mid-single digits. Leeds, Sheffield, York, Newcastle, you are looking at temperatures around 4 to 7 degrees through the rest of the week, some brighter interludes, but staying rather cloudy. Inverness and Aberdeen, that wet weather continues to affect you more than other parts of Scotland, temperatures 5 to 6 degrees, and yes, still some snow over the higher ground. The pattern continues Friday and into the weekend. More showers, longer spells of rain, low pressure, never too far away. Temperatures struggling around 4 to 8 degrees for most areas. This is what I call the most frustrating pattern during winter months. It is cold enough that you need multiple layers, but all you get is rain, miserable, dark, damp conditions. No snow to show for it, just cold rain. And I know many of you share that sentiment based on the comments I've been seeing. Now, there are interesting developments in the stratosphere that could affect our weather. The polar vortex sits high up as a spinning mass of cold air over the Arctic. When warming occurs in the stratosphere, both sides of this vortex, it can weaken or split it. The effects filter down to surface weather with a 10-day to 2-week lag, often bringing much colder air southward. The models have been flipping on this. Some GFS runs show a significant polar vortex split around the 8th of February, with lobes heading towards Alaska and Europe. The ensembles show warming with some runs splitting it, others keeping it intact. The European model shows similar ideas but with considerable uncertainty. The sudden stratospheric warming probability is currently 19%. Not off, but there's been backing away recently. What matters for us? If this happens, it could open the door to much colder conditions in early February. All three major operational models, GFS, European, and Met Office, are showing cold air heading our way early February. But the ensembles are reluctant. There is definitely an idea developing, but it lacks confidence at this stage. The GFS operational has been keen on this colder pattern for days. Around the 10th of February, high pressure winds out to our north, cutting off the Atlantic, opening the door to northerly or northeasterly winds and very cold air flooding in. The European model does something similar at day 10, showing blocking to our north and northeast with northeasterlies developing. For Plymouth, Exeter, Penzance along the battered southwest, more rain Thursday but potentially drier and colder early February. Blackpool, Scarborough, the east coast, you well positioned if easterlies develop with North Sea snow showers streaming in. The European model shows an east-southeasterly initially, not terribly cold but below average, cold enough for snow. Upper air temperatures around -5, the cold air intensifies as it skirts us. Eventually it forces a much colder pattern with blocking towards Greenland, pushing Arctic air from the northeast. The GFS ensembles show confidence next week will be average but feeling colder with all the rain, cloud, and wind. Upper air temperatures around the 91 to 2020 average, but feeling like 4 or 5 degrees rather than 7 or 8. Longer term, cold runs appear but not overwhelming yet. The ECMWF ensembles are similar with some even colder runs later. Around the 4th and 5th of February, average to chilly. Then around the 6th and 7th, a bigger drop-off with many runs going cold or very cold, down to -5 upper air. About 50% of ensemble members show this, though mostly in the last days of the run. If it showed within 10 days, we have more confidence. For Bristol, Southampton, Brighton, Oxford, Cambridge, Nottingham, Leicester, you are watching Thursday a system bring showers, mid-single digits. Leeds, Sheffield, York, Newcastle, 4 to 7 degrees through the week, some brighter spells but cloudy. Inverness and Aberdeen, wet weather continues, 5 to 6 degrees, snow over higher ground. Dover, the Channel Islands, Isle of Wight, Hebrides, Orkney, Shetland, the pattern affects you similarly. The operational models showing this cold scenario is noteworthy. It's plausible. We need more ensemble support before discussing details with confidence. There's one thing troubling me though, the consistency of pushback we've seen. Every time models show this colder pattern, it gets pushed back a few days in the next run. That doesn't mean it won't happen, but we need stability in model solutions before having real confidence. Do check back tomorrow for the latest runs. What you need to prepare for immediately. Tonight through Thursday morning, ice warnings are serious. Temperatures near freezing, moisture from recent rain will freeze in places. Black ice possible on untreated roads. Northern Ireland, large portions of England and Wales, be careful in mornings. Thursday afternoon and evening, Cornwall, Devon, southern Wales. That rain warning matters. We've had multiple warnings here this week. Saturated ground, high river levels, further flooding entirely possible with another inch of rain. This unusual southerly track setup batters southern areas instead of the typical western Scotland rainfall. Friday brings more showery rain, 4 to 8 degrees, feeling cold in wind. The weekend offers little improvement with low pressure in charge through Sunday. Beyond the weekend is where real interest lies. Monday and Tuesday, the 3rd and 4th of February, still that battleground. Average temperatures, cloud, rain, showers. But from Wednesday the 4th onwards, particularly Friday the 6th, we could see the shift. If blocking establishes to our north and northeast as operational models suggest, if cold air floods back in, we are looking at a potential cold spell for early February. The implications would be significant. Instead of dreary cold rain, properly cold conditions, temperatures struggling above freezing in places, northerly or northeasterly winds, potential for snow at lower levels further south. I am not saying this will happen. Models aren't confident enough, but operational runs from all three major models showing this is noteworthy. It is plausible. We need ensemble support before discussing details confidently. For Bournemouth, Portsmouth, Canterbury, South Coast areas, easterlies would bring some of the coldest conditions. For the Midlands, Coventry, Derby, Stoke, Worcester, you to be in the path of snow showers streaming westward. For Lancashire, Cumbria, the northwest, a dramatic change from wet and windy to much colder and potentially snowy. We've been here before, though. Cold patterns have appeared in models this winter only to back away. Comments reflect that frustration. I'll believe it when I see it, one said. I completely understand. We've been tantalizingly close to cold air multiple times, but it's stayed offshore. We remain in the battleground between Atlantic air and continental cold, getting miserable cold rain rather than proper winter weather. But stratospheric developments add another dimension. If we see a major sudden stratospheric warming, it significantly increases chances of cold air breaking through. The 10-day to 2-week lag means early to mid-February timing. The pieces are on the board. They just need to fall into place. Drop your location in the comments. Those in Edinburgh mentioned slight wind and rain yesterday morning, nothing major. Then by 3 this morning, no wind, no rain, average temperatures. That's the lull between systems I described. More rain Thursday and Friday, though. Tell me your town or city, and tomorrow I'll have updated forecasts with latest runs. Some criticism calls this cold ramping or shameless titles. I understand that frustration. I am trying to be balanced, telling you what operational models show whilst being clear about lack of ensemble support. I am maintaining appropriate uncertainty. If this doesn't materialize, it doesn't, and we continue unsettled. But if it develops, I want you prepared. One certainty. This unsettled pattern continues for at least 5 to 7 days. Multiple low-pressure systems, rain, showers, wind, temperatures around average but feeling colder. Only beyond that time frame do we see potential change. Forecasting beyond 5 days always carries increased uncertainty. Overnight temperatures through this week will be near freezing in northern and eastern areas, mid-single digits further south and west. Daytime temperatures 4 to 8 degrees for most. Slightly milder far southwest, colder northern Scotland. Feels like temperature several degrees lower due to wind and damp. That S, what makes this pattern unpleasant. Not mild enough to be comfortable, not cold enough for snow except Scottish mountains. Key takeaways in natural language. The rest of this week stays unsettled with further rain warnings likely, particularly southwestern areas. Ice is genuine concern for mornings, especially Thursday and Friday across northern and eastern areas. Their S potential pattern change in early February, with operational models showing much colder scenario, but ensemble support still lacking. Stratospheric developments worth watching as sudden stratospheric warming could increase chances of cold air breaking through. Considerable uncertainty beyond the 5th of February, so check back daily as the situation evolves. Tomorrow I'll have fresh forecasts with latest model runs. We'll see if this cold signal firms up or backs away. Updated stratospheric forecasts, and I'll address specific locations UV mentioned with more detailed timings. The situation is fluid, models are shifting, the stratosphere is doing interesting things. We in that frustrating period where we can see potential on charts, but can yet say with confidence it's happening. For Lincoln, Preston, Durham, Carlisle, Dundee, Perth, Stirling, and locations I haven't mentioned individually, the general pattern applies. More details tomorrow based on your comments. Thank you for watching, commenting, engaging. I appreciate many are frustrated with this weather pattern. I'm frustrated too. Stay safe, particularly driving Thursday morning with ice risk. And if you're in the southwest, be prepared for more heavy rain Thursday afternoon. I'll be back tomorrow with